If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome, friends, to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Ayo, guys, you'll never guess what we just finished doing.
Yeah, we just saw Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins.
Actually, no, we saw Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
The technically unnamed sequel. It didn't have like a runoff name. It was just Deadpool 2.
Good enough.
Yeah. It works. Sure.
I have not thought about that at all until you brought it up now.
So we literally just left the theater, came back here to the studio and began recording. So here we are.
Yeah. Notes have not been shared, and this is it. Now we're going to talk about what the hell we both thought of that experience.
Yeah. I guess so. My initial remarks would be, if you thoroughly enjoyed the first one, then you will also very much so thoroughly enjoy this one.
Oh yeah, it's like they took a roller coaster ride you already loved at your favorite theme park and only improved upon it somehow, making it the same but better.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I was actually listening all day, and I finally finished it on the ride back home. I was listening to our own podcast because I'm that conceited. And, I was listening to the preview, the Deadpool preview podcast.
It's like the age-old question, like, does a music artist, a musician, do they listen to their own music? And when they do they do so in the company of others? Like, is that vanity in definition?
Now, see, it would certainly be vanity if, like, I had a friend in the car and I was like, you know what, I got something we can listen to, and then I put on the podcast.
Right, that would be some vanity.
Yeah. So I listened to the preview podcast recently, and on the way home, wrapping up that podcast, it was really interesting because so for you guys that listen to the preview podcast, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Yeah, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's almost like we have some kind of precognition or premonition. Because there's a lot of things in that preview podcast that we said, both for the good and for the bad, that did come to pass.
Right, and of course, in great detail, we'll discuss that later on in the podcast for the spoiler field section. However, for this part, we're just going to highlight some of the cool things that happened in a spoiler-free voice.
So there were a lot of cool things that happened in this movie.
Oh yeah,
tons. There were tons of cool stuff, and once again, this movie really did put a lot of emphasis and focus on Ryan Reynolds' performance as Deadpool. The movie still hinges on him and on his performance, so the movie is still solidly on Deadpool's back, and he carries it very well.
He does, without a problem.
This time around, he has a different purpose, a more interesting purpose than the original.
I will go ahead and say this. The movie does kind of come at you with a very familiar, but then quickly with a very surprising tone. So the movie in itself is a lot of the same, but like I was talking about earlier, a little bit more added onto that. A fresh tone that we're not really used to in this universe, which I appreciated personally.
It was, once again, it wasn't anything, that was never before seen, this new original. No, it wasn't anything like that. But it was definitely like a really cool step for Deadpool to take. Because we get to see him in kind of a new light. But we really get to see how this character reacts, being put up against these weird new circumstances.
It's really weird making these sentences, isn't it? Like trying to put these words together without trying to say too much. Yeah.
No, not yet. No,
not yet. No. I don't know. I'm already having a weird time over here because it's like, hey, this is the tone.
Yeah.
And, oh shit! How do I say that without breaking news? You know.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to say this company's name. You know, for
I was just about to actually.
I don't want to get sued. Or
a joke came in mind already about them.
But yeah, so I listened to a review. It was a spoiler-free, quote-unquote, review from a certain really famous and popular, nerd newsfeed site, and in that 4-minute review, they fucking ruined everything. They told so much, and I guess to this particular news site that should not be named or mentioned, to that 3-letter news site, they
well, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
Everyone just finished taking their bets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to this really popular comic, geeky, gaming, possibly news site that should not be mentioned. Here's a big bird. You can't see me, but I'm flicking you off right now, right into the microphone. That's for you for spoiling so much.
And listeners, just so you know, those of you who support, Kevin up over here on the mic, I did not see this website nor this company's quote unquote spoiler free review. So we're good. The movie wasn't ruined for me. Yeah. Not that it was ruined. No. That's harsh language. No. But not that it was spoiled for me.
Yeah. And also just to say they spoiled anything, to be honest, the things that they spoiled people really, it was all inconsequential. Because there's not like any super strong device that's driving the plot forward here. So it's not like anything that they mentioned. It was more of a giant inconvenience. Like, really? It wasn't like it wasn't like Thanos got the Soul Stone from this planet, guys. It wasn't anything like that.
Right.
But it was more like, really, guys? That's really dickish of you. Or inconsiderate of you. But
that does leave some questions I'm going to ask you in a few minutes here. In a few.
But no, just going back to our overall thoughts of the movie here for the spoiler-free section, though, I really did enjoy Deadpool here as a whole. Like, they really amped him up, not in a bad way, because let's be honest, people, I think we all can agree to a certain extent that too much Deadpool is just too much Deadpool.
Right.
But fortunately here, it never gets tiring or overwhelming.
Yeah. You can tell that they made a lot more investment into the things that Deadpool wanted to do, into the things that would make the movie funny overall, just, for the actors, but also for us as an audience. There was a lot of call-outs that we could enjoy, and I'd love to mention a few of those, but stick around and you'll hear them.
Yeah. So there were a ton of Easter eggs, unfortunately, we can't have like pen and pad in the theater. Otherwise, I would have tried to write them down. But there were just so many Easter eggs.
Could you imagine a bowl of popcorn in one hand, just one hand shoving it into the face, and then over here, oh yeah, this is great,
But I thought that the pacing of the movie was really well done.
Yeah.
They never really slow up, and I mean that in a good way, because this is a Deadpool movie. It really doesn't need to catch its breath too much,
Right. Yeah. No, overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the plot that they presented to us. And again, the pacing itself was very comfortable, especially for a Deadpool type of movie.
Right.
It needs to be a little faster than your average Joe here, What did you think overall of the plot? Let me go ahead and ask you that off the bat. Let's just rip into it. What's up?
I mean, even the first Deadpool wasn't memorable for its plot,
right? This was something we spoke about in the preview,
And the same goes for this one, in my opinion. Like the plot, the plot serves its purpose, to get us from A to B. But as far as it being, this really intricate and cool, type deal, they do some really cool things within the plot. But like the plot as a whole really isn't anything to write home about. It serves its purpose, but I mean, it was good.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. There are some points whenever I was sitting in the theater, like, okay, you know what, we're doing this. Let it happen, But like you said, it successfully did its purpose. Took us from this to that scene and helped carry through with the rest of the movie story. But that did not at all ruin or slow the experience for me,
It didn't, but it also, of course, didn't enhance it either.
No, it could have, but no.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's funny listening to the preview podcast. One thing that was said in different words from the both of us was something to the effect of, "This has to be more than just a big fun movie. It has to have some substance to it."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it wasn't like that was just a few days ago. Yeah. And what would you say happened there, buddy, without me saying it? What did you say happened?
It was a Deadpool movie, guys.
It was a Deadpool movie, yeah. And that is not at all a bad thing.
No.
Please do not mishear us. Would I go see the movie again? Hell yeah, I'd go see this movie again, you know?
All right. And also, I don't want you guys to feel like we're riding and rocking this podcast either.
Oh, hell no. No.
Where we're disguising, our true feelings shrouded with good things. No,
with the words, it was a fun movie. I still want to go back and listen to how many times we used that. It was fun. You know, that whole safety word there.
I listened to it a few months ago, and it was cringeworthy.
Oh my gosh.
I apologize, guys, for that one. But no, back to Deadpool 2, though. One thing, though, that this movie really did deliver in a fantastic way was the action. All of the set pieces were absolutely amazing.
Oh my gosh, they really were.
Like, there really wasn't one fight scene in this movie that felt lacking. They all packed a lot of punch, and it was so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
But no, it really was, though.
Now we're ragging wrong. No, you're right, though. The action was supreme in this whole movie. Mm-hmm. Like, every scene, action-wise, was visually stunning. It was great. I mean, it was jumping out at you. And, of course, Ryan Reynolds was only peppering everything up more so with his classic way of carrying Deadpool. Yeah.
But one thing about the action here that I really enjoyed was that, this movie is rated R, so it has a license to pretty much do whatever the hell it wants to do.
Yeah.
But even with that, though, they still were really creative with how they did the action.
Yeah.
I mean, because they could have just took the lazy way out and just had a bunch of blood and gore. But, for any of you guys who watched, like, a bunch of lazy action movies that are rated R, then you know that, like, the action, even though it's really bloody and gory, that doesn't make it good because there's no thought of creativity in a lot of those movies.
There's a few examples that come to mind.
Yeah. But in Deadpool 2, though, the action here is just so well done and so creative.
Yeah.
And it was really so much fun to watch because they really have a lot of fun with the ridiculousness of Deadpool. And also, they really do play fast and loose with it because, once again, it's Deadpool. You can do that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I feel like that's a certain segue that we can take advantage of real quick. Let me ask you your opinion of this. How do you think they used Cable? Like your opinion of it. Yeah.
Honestly, guys, Cable was a little watered down as far as the character goes. Josh Brolin did the very best with what they gave him, but what they gave him was imagine if the Terminator was a real person that had, feelings and certain moral quandaries, and then you have Cable. that was kind of
That's an interesting description. Yeah. It was apt, but yeah. I agree. Cable did definitely feel like a different version of himself. Like, instead of a Cable colored in hard with, like, good, thick colored pencils and whatnot, it felt like we got more watercolors here. At certain points, because he still came across pretty awesomely throughout the whole movie, and I appreciated what they gave us.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool and good, and honestly, probably one of the best interpretations of Cable that we're ever going to get on screen presently. But you're right, it definitely didn't remind me of big time kick-ass, look at this man's horribly tragic backstory and all this cool shit he had to do in the definition of badass that begins with a C. That's what Cable is, folks. and you know what? This movie did do that pretty damn well.
Right.
Yeah.
They made Cable look the best whenever he was fighting. Like, that's when Cable really looked the best. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whenever there was any kind of exposition about the character himself, that's when it kind of wavered. But as far as him kicking ass, that was all great.
And you know what? It's not said enough, but damn it, I'm going to say it. kudos to the choreographers. You deserve a clap if I could clap in front of a mic without ruining my eardrums. Because, daggum, you guys are good. Not just for making great action, but for differentiating the action. Deadpool's style versus Cable style was significantly different.
Versus Domino style.
Oh, dude.
It was all so well done.
That was some awesome shit.
Yeah.
I appreciated Domino's usage in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Domino, to me, she fared really well in this movie, in my opinion. And it wasn't just because I'm in love with Zazie Beetz. It was... did I say that out loud?
The ball's in your court now, Zazie.
She actually loves this podcast.
I know, right? You get a phone call tomorrow.
All right, how'd you get my number, Zazie? That's kind of weird. But no. She, Domino herself, that was really well done in this movie, I thought. They really had a lot of fun with her abilities, too. And you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell. And I really loved, like, Deadpool's kind of reaction to it all. To him seeing her powers in work. Like, because Deadpool himself is so ridiculous. And then him seeing her is like, now that's ridiculous.
Exactly. It takes a lot to make him say that, you know. And, quoting the trailer, it's like, I'm sorry, luck's not a superpower. It's not. It's just not. Let's meet in the middle and say it's not.
Yeah.
And they really play it out super well in the movie. You enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. I will say that this movie does a lot of things that no one expected it to do. Like, no one expected it to do.
Yeah.
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 And, whether or not it's a good or a bad thing, it's up to you and your own interpretation.
Sure.
Once you see the movie.
At that point, it becomes, personal opinion. For instance, I will say this about my opinion, and just go ahead and throw my vote on the table.
Gotcha.
There are some things like they did with X-Force that, sure, we predicted, but nowhere near the same, manner in which they presented to us, being as broad as hell there.
Right.
But, damn.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
If you guys are going to this movie really looking for an introduction to X-Force, then I apologize. You will not get that.
Yeah. Frank was awesome. Frank? Yeah.
Which one was Frank?
Remember Frank, the guy with the mustache? Dude?
Peter.
Oh, shit. I could have sworn I would have put money down saying that mustache man's name from the trailer, the one who's in the sky falling down with a straight lace, just like planking it through the air. That could have been Frank to me. Like, his name was Frank. But shit, I have a joke for that later on in this same podcast. But yeah, I'm. Are you sure?
I don't know where you got Frank from.
We
even talked about it in the preview podcast. About a theory that he could be a certain Pete Wisdom because his name is Peter.
No, I remember that comment. But yeah, wow. I would have lost $5.
We literally just saw the movie, Kevin.
I know. Okay, but we're going to talk about why I'm justified in what happens. Okay, yep. I'm justified.
And calling him Frank.
That is funny.
It's not even close.
It's close enough.
Nah.
I'm sorry to all the Franks and Peters out there. That was not close enough. But tell you what.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Tell you what.
How do you feel the comedy in this movie landed for you?
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I was rolling around my chair. Mm-hmm. I mean, we use a theater all the time, guys. We go to an awesome one in our area, which has these like reclining seats that you can kind of like hold a button and it gets you right at that perfect angle for yourself. And the whole time I'm rolling around like a kid having a bad nightmare, but I'm laughing. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm having no nightmare. This entire experience was, wait, what's happening on screen? Oh my gosh, And I will say this, there were parts near the latter half of the movie where I was laughing, and I'm pretty sure, and this is probably personal paranoia, but it was so funny that I was laughing, and I could have sworn I was the loudest laugh in our chunk of the theater, in our populous within our proximity. Just like, oh shit, I'm the one who finds this the most funny. That is an awkward medal. No one really wants that medal, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Either way, hilarious.
I have a similar sentiment as to what I said in the Infinity War review podcast. And that is, I guess this is just a problem with comedic moments in movies as a whole.
What's
is
that?
Whenever there's, like a string of comedic moments, of course there's laughter from the audience, but oftentimes that reverb kind of drowns out the following content. Like, there's a joke and then there's laughter from the audience, and then that kind of drowns out what the movie goes on to next a little bit.
True. The laughter does serve to distract.
Right.
Especially if it's lasting laughter. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not a knock on the movie at all. That's more just a knock on the movie going experience.
Yeah. It makes it hard to hear. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, shit, they said something important. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
We didn't need to hear it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we really get to see a lot of cool transformational moments for Deadpool that works out really well.
I just imagined Optimus Prime coming out.
Yep. But no, it was really interesting seeing Deadpool kind of make these transitions. Because I think that the easy way out would be to just keep the character the same and just change the situations.
Yeah, I was literally having the same mind frame just then, thinking how Deadpool, did go through some character growth. Not just, changes in a sense where it's like, oh, for some reason we had a different Deadpool this movie. No, it was still very much the same tone, but a deeper continuation of the character, which honestly I was surprised with. The way that the movie went with everything there. It's one of those things where we'll be more detailed in a minute about. But yeah, no, I appreciated the depth they gave us with him.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The depth and the growth that they gave to Deadpool, they took definitely from the villain, because the villain had nothing.
Nope, as predicted. Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah. Not to insult our boy Black Tom Cassidy, but yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like, there is more than just Black Tom people. But honestly, like, just from that kind of villainry standpoint, if you go into the movie looking at Cable to fill that spot, then you'll feel more satisfied if you're looking for him to fill that role. And once again, it's kind of like we discussed in the preview podcast.
Right. At this point, it's not even a spoiler anymore. It's more just being experienced with how movies typically work and understanding, oh, that was the trailer. Okay, cool. It transfers over perfectly, people. Cable does play out the villain more so in this movie, And I feel like that's safe to say without, making someone throw down a gauntlet in my direction. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not the primary antagonist for the entire movie, but he is definitely a cool standout in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, what'd you think about what's that?
Oh, I was thinking about like a few more questions we can ask in this half and whatnot. Yeah. Everything I was thinking was like, no, not yet. Yeah. But what's up?
For sure, there's a lot of things that we really can't discuss.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, overall, man, like, this movie was a really good movie. It was a step up from the original.
It was, and that was a fear of ours. We were talking about that, like, oh, is this just gonna kind of wade the same? Oh shit! Is this just kind of float around the same water, or is it just actually going to improve the movie? In this case, yeah, I agree. It definitely was a step up.
Right. With Deadpool, it's interesting because, like, you don't want to say that they played it safe, but at the same time, an argument can be made that they played it safe. And you would be right with either argument. Because the first Deadpool movie in its entirety really was just a big gamble. It could have flopped. You know, because it's so crude and it's a rated R superhero, and you know it kind of had a low budget, and you know they were really just doing this on a whim, but then you know it struck chords with the audience, and people loved the first one, but with the second one, you know they don't get me wrong, they don't have like that sequel blues, you know, where the sequel sucks in comparison to the first one.
Right.
This isn't that. They don't have that problem at all. No.
That is a common sickness in the big movie business, I feel like. Yeah,
it is.
But no, luckily this time Deadpool was cured of that too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, guys, and also for those of you, you know, wondering about the kid, I mean, he's. I will say this:
cool.
The actor himself did a really good job. I really liked his performance.
Yeah. Give me a second. Let's look up what this little tyke's name was. I say little tyke. Julian Dennison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you recognize him? I feel like I recognized him.
I think he's in
What
like
else has
one
he
other really popular indie flick, but I don't remember the name of it.
Nope. Shit. I don't recognize nothing he's done. He only has 5 things.
Oh, he's also only like 14 years old, so.
Oh, true. But it's like, I don't... Yeah, if you've seen any of this, then awesome, go you. I have not. But there's that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, damn, guys, honestly, like, there's not a whole lot more that we can discuss here in the spoiler-free section. The action was great. Cable was done pretty good. Domino was done really well.
The music was super fun this time as well, because I know that's something that stood out to me in the first movie.
Right.
Equally awesome and powerful in this one.
I'm glad you brought the music up.
What's up?
Overall, I like the music, but I think that they pushed the envelope maybe a little too much, maybe trying to get a little too silly with it. And so at some points, they're trying to make you feel certain feelings. And, you know, they use the music in a weird way. And it's kind of like, I don't know what you guys want me to feel right now.
I'll have to ask you for examples about that in a second here.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious what you're talking about.
Yeah, there were several moments where I was like, okay, like, I don't know what what's supposed to be going on here.
I appreciate some of the music.
Yeah.
I mean,
once again, for the most part, it worked well, but like there were other parts where you almost feel like they're trying to get dramatic, and then like you hear the music and you're like, I don't know, I guess maybe not. And so like it's just a really weird construct that they do here.
Maybe we'll have to talk about it. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, but anything else, my friend, before we go to Act 2?
That's gonna be it. All
right,
Kevin, what are your overall thoughts and ratings on this movie?
Overall, guys, I would definitely see this movie again. I thought it was a good, strong movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Quality, it was a quality laugh. It was a quality, great damn time. Story-wise, again, I've used this phrase before. It fits the bill one more time. It left me found wanting, you know. But overall, a worthwhile experience. Go see it. Do not take your children. Do not take your grandmother.
It's a family movie.
Okay. Define family. Overall, man, I'd give it like an 8.2. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, guys, like we said so many times, this movie really is like the first one on steroids. And so we get just a lot of fun action set pieces, a lot of cool and creative action. We get a lot of cool moments with Cable and Domino, and they're really 2 new main characters that are introduced here in this film. And they really do get a lot of cool time to shine and a lot of cool set pieces as well. No one liked the first Deadpool movie because of the villain or the plot. So, you know, walking into the sequel expecting, you know, a super original and cohesive plot. You're setting yourself up. However, I don't think it's too much to ask for a more quality villain moving forward in the series.
I will say this. The villain in the first movie did cause a string of memes to be made about good old Francis.
Yeah, or his name caused that.
Exactly,
But overall, I'll give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was a super good Deadpool movie. I mean, like, as far as Deadpool movies go, they did exactly what a Deadpool movie should do. Of course, they could have improved upon some things, but for the most part, the movie does stick that superhero landing. Give it an 8. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yep. All right, guys. This is the moment here where we're gonna have a brief momentary pause and come back with the spoiler-filled section of the podcast.
I feel like if we were on TV, this would be our commercial break.
It would be.
Yeah, like this is when the camera pans away and you and I like start leaning back in our chairs and look like we're having fake jovial conversation. Right. Yeah.
And instead, this is the part of the podcast where we promote Patreon, our Patreon page, ladies and gentlemen.
Patreon.
Yeah. So we actually have changed up the Patreon account just a little bit now. We have 2 different options for you guys. So of course, the Patreon page is a place that you can go to get bonus content from us, where we talk about TV shows, movies, video games, cult classics, and new movies as well. So you get to have all of that content that we discuss for $3 a month. And also, so if you really don't think you have $3 a month to spare, hey, we understand. Times are hard, money is tight. We know that more than anyone. So for just $1 a month, you can get all of our new movie reviews.
Indeed.
And so, of course, coming soon, we have the Han Solo movie just next week. A couple weeks following that, we have our Jurassic World sequel.
Very much so, yes, indeed.
And I believe we're also doing The Incredibles, aren't we?
Yeah, no, we were definitely talking about doing The Incredibles. We will not be doing the Teen Titans movie, whatever the hell that is,
Yeah, so we'll pretend like that abomination doesn't exist.
Basically, this will probably be the last you hear of us mentioning it. So do not ask for it. We are not giving it. Indeed.
Yeah. But so the Patreon page is a really cool spot, guys. We actually just did a review of Rick and Morty thus far and our overall thoughts on it. Not to toot our own horn, but it's a pretty good podcast. So yeah, if you guys are looking for more quality content from your favorite superhero homies, then for sure go to patreon.com and search for Superhero Homies, and you can check out all our cool content.
And don't be afraid to share it and let other people know too, because who knows? Maybe they're not a comic book geek like us, but hey, maybe they are Rick and Morty fans, or they're big Star Wars peoples. Who knows? Let them enjoy it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
that was our pause.
Yep.
So now we're back into
Good job advertising that.
Oh, thank you. Back into the spoiler filled section.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to start, Kevin?
How to start this off? First off, I loved the James Bond callback. There's one thing this movie did way better this time around than the first movie did. It took advantage of its liberties and its power as Deadpool can, and made a ton of different shout outs to all forms of media. We had a James Bond reference up in there. Of course, we got a bunch of comic book references, Superman, Batman references, Solo, damn daggum Green Lantern was brought up a handful of times again. Well, though, not just like rubbing it in the dirt, but
of course, there was the Logan reference.
Oh my gosh.
starting the movie off with a Logan reference.
That tore me a little bit, not gonna lie. Like, I was just like, oh, still too soon. Oh, stop it, please. Did you make the toy just for this scene? Which, that was an ingeniously sad toy. It really was.
Oh, man. It was... that was a great moment to really show us what this movie is going to be all about.
Yeah. Like, damn it, Logan. How'd you go off and do that? Now I gotta do this just to set myself on par? Like,
right.
Yeah.
There was just so many Easter eggs, man. Like, one of my favorite moments, I don't even know if this is an Easter egg or not. I don't know what you call it, but it was when he was in the X Mansion and they open up the door and we see the X-Men in there.
So who all did you see? Because I didn't realize what was going on. I was looking down.
Oh, jeez.
And I saw Beast. I saw Quicksilver. Who else was there?
Professor X, James McAvoy.
Daggone.
Yeah. Who else was in there?
Help us out, guys. If you see anyone else, feel free to message us privately. Please don't leave a comment on the page, because then you might accidentally spoil some shit like some companies we know, But
yeah. No, but that was a really,
at least
really
those
cool
three.
moment.
It really was, because I saw Beast now so distracted by the blue, and it was like, oh shit, it's him! And then as he's closing, I see Quicksilver. It's like,
oh no! I remember I saw Cyclops. I don't remember seeing Sophie Turner. She could have been in there, but I did see Cyclops, Beast, Quicksilver, Professor X. Those were the main four that I saw.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a really cool Easter egg.
Also, did you see Nightcrawler in the prison?
In the prison?
Yeah, in the prison. I could have sworn.
I think Nightcrawler, he may have even been in the scene we just mentioned.
Really?
It wouldn't make any sense for him to be in the prison. He was in Apocalypse.
I saw someone very... yeah, that's true. He was... I saw someone that looked like comic book Nightcrawler in a sense in the prison. The classic blue skin. I'm trying to remember, because they might have actually had a different color hair, which would kind of debunk the theory. And I didn't see a tail, of course, either. So that's a huge another one. But no, I remember seeing a very blue, kind of like more Nightcrawler shape being than a normal, normal superhero shape being. Yeah. Kind of more like demon shape than human shape, yeah.
I don't think he was in that prison.
Oh. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the movie again, which I'm okay with. Yeah.
So I need to go ahead and get some things off my chest.
Hit me.
Black Tom Cassidy was somehow a bigger dud than I thought he was going to be.
A lot of the movie things that we were calling we were right, but so...
Our worst case scenario in the preview podcast did not meet what the movie did.
Right, like they somehow exceeded the worst case scenario in such a way that it's debatable if we were even right. You know? Like, we can sit here in comfort saying, we called that shit.
Yeah, we said that Black Tom Cassidy wasn't going to be the main antagonist. We said that he wasn't going to be, in the movie that much, but I mean...
Damn, we did not call it to that extent.
Yeah, that was... that was rough.
First off, Black Tom was replaced by the Kid. The Kid became Black Tom.
Essentially.
Did you have the same vibe for a few scenes there?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Juggernaut. Now that was some cool shit. I was happy for CG Juggernaut.
That was great.
CG and not.
Right.
Yeah, CG and
not.
And
it's so great because, guys, listen, I honestly had no idea that Juggernaut was going to be in the movie. There was speculation, but even then, I had no idea that they were going to do him all CG. Yeah, because I'd even made mention, if they ever do another Juggernaut, he needs to be completely CG.
Who was the voice? Was that the same gentleman?
No.
Who was the voice then?
I don't know.
I couldn't tell. Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll have to look that up.
The voice was really good.
Oh yeah, he fit the bill.
Yeah.
It felt a lot like the original voice from that other movie, but I can't remember who that was, but I don't know either. Yeah, but no, he was awesome.
Yeah, Juggernaut was great. He was a great surprise, and I feel sorry for people who won't see it for another week or so because social media is going to ruin that for you.
Yeah, good luck, folks.
Yeah,
you're.
Yeah,
too many people are going to spoil shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be way out there.
Yeah.
But no, Juggernaut was almost as surprisingly good as X-Force was surprisingly awful.
No, X-Force, man. Okay, so I started thinking about it strategically, just from the point of view, if I had such powers, from the producer's seat, thinking about it, the heroes they chose for X-Force, if they had to make throwaway heroes, who would you pick? I don't mean to be insulting.
Yeah, I would not choose Shatterstar. I wouldn't choose the OG member of the X-Force team. That's for damn sure.
They did.
Yeah, they did, and to me, it didn't work. It didn't work.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, it's like, you hype up these guys in your trailer. That's even more egregious than what you did with Black Tom Cassidy, because at least he wasn't in the trailer. So there was no expectation for Black Tom, but for X-Force there was. And then you take one of the most popular mutant teams, debut them in a movie, and then immediately kill them off just for a comedic undertone. And it's like,
it definitely was a hit to take because you get some awesome talent like Terry Crews, for example. I was looking forward to his character. I really wanted to see some of that awesome shit, but he got killed by a bus.
Yeah.
I mean, the windy landing was so bad. It effed everyone over except Domino, which was great, but still. No.
I didn't like the X-Force because there was no X-Force.
No, there really wasn't. What we got at the end of the movie is X-Force. That is my mind. That is where I'm at,
Yeah, I mean, They never explicitly say that, but that could be.
Right.
And it makes me wonder, like, what are they going to do for the X-Force movie moving forward here? I don't know what they're going to do with that one.
Hey, I'd still give it to them, Let Cable and Deadpool and Domino dominate the team and, Colossus be a guest star all the time like he always is and maybe...
Right.
No, I'm comfortable with that. You're right. They threw away the quote unquote OG team for a comedic undertone. I'm gonna give it to them though and say, you know what, that wasn't the best decision.
Yeah.
But I think you guys can get away with it because you're Deadpool and you're probably the only name that can do something like this and not piss off a ton of people.
I think once again, it's like if you're just a fan of Deadpool, then sure. But if you're a fan of the comics, then it's going to irk you.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of comic fans out there may agree or disagree with me, and I'm sure a lot of hardcore Deadpool fans are like, I don't even give a crap,
Because here's the thing: a lot of Deadpool fans aren't comic readers; they're just Deadpool fans.
Exactly.
So that's not even like the same.
They buy the hoodies from Walmart and the cosplay belts and all that weird stuff, and that's cool and great and awesome. Welcome to the fandom. But honestly, man, I think they're still going to be able to move forward just as well.
Oh yeah, I mean,
long story short,
they're
no matter
the
arguments,
right? Yeah. I mean, they're going to be able to move forward. But for me, that's definitely one thing that I had to touch on was the. To me, just the ultimate, blue balling of the X-Force. And then, because it was like I went in there with expectations of seeing them at least, doing some cool shit, and I don't even get that,
I will say this, I did at least want to see frickin' Shatterstar actually doing some cool fighting. I would have loved to have seen that at least.
Yeah.
At least one fight scene, but...
And that's really saying something, because Fox has a history of just throwing away mutants in their previous X-Men movies. But this is among the worst offenses. I mean, just throwing away mutants.
At this point, I think they did it on purpose.
Oh, obviously they did it on purpose.
But do you wonder if they actually not just did it on purpose for the sake of the movie and trying to get a laugh, but out of spite almost? Do you think that's a possibility?
Spiting who? The audience? Because that's the only people I can imagine it's spiting.
Why not?
Why? I can't imagine why you want to spite your audience.
Well, I'm trying to think about it. Kind of like a power play. Like, hey, we're going to be able to get away with what we want to do. We're going to keep making, this movie, this X-Force franchise for a little bit. Who knows what the future plans are. Mm-hmm. But... yeah.
I mean, I'd
have to see the rest of the movies, 20 years down the line and look back on these and say, okay, I see kind of what they were trying to go for here. Yeah.
Right, yeah, but unfortunately, we are not cable, so the future does not quite apply here.
True. Though I did love the cutscene when Deadpool did kind of take upon himself that cable prowess.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Also, Brad Pitt as the Vanisher.
That I did not call.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's funny. I meant to mention this on the preview podcast, but I completely forgot. There's a shot in the trailers, when they're all jumping out of the plane doing the skydiving gig. Behind Peter, there was just a falling backpack. like a falling parachute jump.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were speculating, like, what's up with that backpack? And a lot of people were thinking maybe that means that there's another member that's jumping off and it's going to catch in some cool fashion, and like no one really had any idea, like, well, what the hell is happening here?
I didn't expect a Vanisher.
Right. No one expected to be an invisible Brad Pitt.
I was just about to say I didn't see it coming, but... Yeah. I don't have the energy for punnery.
Jeez, yeah.
That one was too easy. That's T-ball,
That's punnery 101.
Exactly. Yeah, that's Walmart punnery. Yeah. No, we're not about that Walmart punnery. We go to our Whole Food organic places for our punnery. Damn it.
But as far as like, I guess one more thing that I'm going to kind of rag on, then we'll move on.
What's up?
This movie somehow had even less of a villain than the first one. Like, how the hell did you accomplish that? I mean, tell me, Kevin, what was the name of the headmaster guy that was the main, I guess, antagonist?
No, I was going to ask you that, actually. I was going to ask you not really what his name was, but was he supposed to be, in any essence, an underling to the Mr. Sinister?
I would... That's my only guess. I would imagine so, because like the whole name of the school or the building that he owned was Essex something Torture Orphan Mutants Academy.
That was on the placard on the front.
And of course, like I immediately fanboyed out and smacked Kevin on the shoulder a couple of times and pointed to the screen. And when I saw Essex on the screen, because of course Nathaniel Essex is none other than Mr. Sinister. Who we still have yet to have seen on the big screen. And
that guy definitely was not a Mr. Sinister. No. You can't give it to him. At that point, that would be doing to us what freaking, Iron Man 3 did with Mandarin. Like, hey, here's a great potential reduced to this.
Right.
Here you go. You can hold it in one hand.
It's like giving us an X-Force. That's what I'm going to call it now.
Okay. In movie X-Force, I still think is actual X-Force here. That's what I'm walking away with. To me, that's going to be my X-Force. Because mid-movie X-Force, what we were given in trailers, no, that was a crock of bad shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it could be. I don't know. But, so that's just the only other negative was... So pretty much, guys, like my personal negatives are the things that I thought could potentially be negative, but they were amplified.
Well, let me ask you this then. Earlier you were commenting on the music and how that was a different experience for you.
Right. There were like several moments, for example, like when Deadpool was dying and they played a certain song, and it's like, I don't see how this song fits at all. Like, I don't know what you're going for here. I don't see the drama or the comedy. So like, I'm trying to, find my lane here, and there really was none. And there were a couple, or well, not a couple, maybe one or two other moments where they did similar things with the music. But other than that, the music was on point.
I think in those moments, honestly, they were just using a different style of comedy technique, just doing something else that made people chuckle and laugh and whatnot, kind of make them think to themselves, oh, that's a callback to this comment he was making earlier in that scene, whenever he was talking about like, oh, you think they ripped off that song in the Frozen movie? Oh, yeah, stuff like that. I didn't think much of it. I mean, it didn't distract me.
I didn't think much of it either because I didn't know what I was supposed to think of it.
I mean, I didn't even let it bother me that much,
I mean, once again, it's not a bother; it's just a note.
Okay.
It's just
sure.
It's just the fact that it was there and it was there.
Right. The fight music, though, I was worried how they were going to top DMX, but damn, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I don't think they topped it. No, but it's hard to top DMX.
It really is. Like when it comes to fight music, he needs to be top 10 on the playlist.
Wasn't that Dolly Parton?
Yeah, there was some Dolly Parton.
Yeah, that was just another...
I remember I cracked the joke at you, like, if you want white people music, this is it. Yeah. This is the queen.
I mean, because in the movie, we literally go from listening to DMX to Dolly Parton, and I'm like, huh?
I know, right? It's like, who else can give... I wonder. You know what? Give me a second. I do wonder... how the hell the soundtrack looks, because at this point it's just going to be a random pile of whatever.
There was one time where they did a slow rendition of "Take on Me," and I was like, what the hell is this supposed to be?
It was kind of like a weird make this romantic song type thing, I guess. I mean, hey, more and more people are starting to do that with music. For instance, the horror game, Evil Within 2, whenever they used the Duran Duran song.
Right, but that one didn't take like an interpreter to understand.
True.
Oh,
no, I typed in Deadpool 3. That soundtrack's not available till next week. Yeah. There it is, Deadpool 2 original motion picture soundtrack. Yeah. Wow, everything's on here. Cher, Dolly Parton, Aha, DJ Shadow, the Run the Jewels song I love so much. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Mm-hmm. They used it for the montage of getting the team, but it's like, you could have at least had him sing in the background. Come on, I love that song. Bangarang, the Skrillex song,
a lot of dubstep in this one.
yeah. I think it was all the same dubstep, though.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, to me, all dubstep sounds the same.
Yeah. I mean,
no offense to any people that like dubstep.
Right. I mean, neither of us are dubstep connoisseurs. No. I mean,
I wouldn't know any better, so,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's some random stuff in here. Also,
I will say this, though. The one redeeming song in the queue is definitely the Juggernaut theme.
That was hilarious. And I love that they played it post-credits. Yeah. If you didn't stick around for that, folks, I am sorry for your loss, because that was hilarious.
That was one of the best laughs I got in the movie.
How did it go? Help me remember. We got to kind of like pseudo-sing it here.
Damn it, I don't recall. It was hilarious.
It was basically like, holy shit, it's the Juggernaut.
Yeah. And there was something else before that was equally hilarious that they said in like the verse of the song.
Right. Like, it was like the way they started it.
You're like, you cannot fucking stop him. He's still Juggernaut. It was something like that.
It was awesome. I wish so badly that it was part of the soundtrack here.
Oh, I wish it was. It should be. Because that was great. That was
genius.
What you think of the Juggernaut?
Okay, honestly, I appreciated him far more here than in the Unmentionable movie. I mean, dadgum, dude. Juggernaut here it worked out well. I was a little worried whenever it was like, oh, he's all CG. Okay, I hope this plays out well. But no. Of course, in Deadpool fashion, it worked very smoothly. I loved the fight between him and Colossus. That was some fun, stupid fun shit. Yeah, that was great. What about you?
Great. No, I thought that Juggernaut was about as well used as he could be for like the limited amount of time he had. That's probably a pretty expensive CG character, so I understand like the limited screen time. But no, I really enjoy like the foreshadowing of the monster and all of that.
Yeah.
And here's how savvy the internet is. In the trailers, they do not show the Juggernaut, but they show Colossus struggling with something, and then they're able to deduce that must be the Juggernaut. The internet can be as equally smart as it is stupid, and that was a moment where they were really smart.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, but anyways, the cool thing about honestly all this, man, I love the CG going on there, and I kind of do appreciate the interesting callbacks that they made throughout the whole movie. To the growth of the cab driver, to the growth of Deadpool with the X-Men relationships there going on.
Right.
Tell me about this new chick. Who was Yokio?
Oh yeah.
Who was that? With like Thunder Whip.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Who was she? Was she Pixie? Look up. I think they said that she was supposed to be Pixie, but that did not seem like Pixie. So yeah, or you can just Google Yokio and see who that is. But there's too many mutants in the encyclopedia to keep up with. And at this point, they literally just got like a random mutant. It seemed like, but no, she was. I mean, I could take it or leave it.
Actually, at that point, there's a continuity issue, man. Are we sure the name was Yukio?
Yokio. I know that's not the same one from the Wolverine.
Right.
It can't be. That would be ridiculous.
I mean, that's so far the only thing popping up, but I typed in Yokio. I mean, unless I'm just really piss poor at Japanese and I don't know how to spell Yokio, then this is what we're getting. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to pop up on the internet after some time,
right?
And see what people say, because I definitely want to know. Excuse me, who that was and everything, but yeah, no, I mean, even her small appearance was appreciated,
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but it was definitely like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, I almost wish though, because the trailers did really good with not showing the Juggernaut. Big ups to the trailers on that for sure. But they did show Yokio's one scene in the trailer. Like her whipping around the whip. That was like her one moment, and that was shown in the trailer.
Yeah. Her combo attack against Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Without showing Juggernaut's demise in this movie.
Right.
Be that actual death or not.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's still alive.
He's pretty unstoppable, so I mean
right.
Thunder what do you call that? Thunder anal shock? I mean, what do you call that?
Thunder enema. the lightning enema. I don't. Thunderstrap.
We get away with saying some screwed up shit on this show, but dadgummit, man. I mean,
yeah,
good enough for me.
Yeah,
it's canon.
How often does Thunder enema come up in your conversations?
Never. I can promise you that's never come up in my conversations. I've had some weird conversations today, actually, but that was not one of them. By far, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, what did you think about Vanessa biting the dust?
Did not see that coming.
No,
that was a cool surprise. I was happy. I was surprised on that front, just because it helped. I mean, that was the doorway that definitely brought about some more of the depth from Deadpool. Yeah, I was kind of upset. I wonder how they're going to come back at that, because the internet, if you look up, the cast Deadpool 2 page just by Googling it.
It's copycat.
Exactly. She's still copycat there. So I'm kind of curious.
My guess is maybe the internet was just too lazy to put Vanessa, whatever her last name is.
Sure. I mean, I could see that. But no, honestly, I thought it was pretty great. Because it helped the story along, It sucked.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
But it did help the story.
He did, quote unquote, correct it,
He did correct it, so what does that mean going forward?
Oh my gosh, I was jokingly bringing that up, but oh wow, that's actually a great point.
Like, is she alive now? Is she and Peter both, back alive and well and all that? I mean, because if so, then that's a little slap in the face if so.
Remember what... Oh my gosh, dude. It's genius. So help me remember, which movie was it where Wolverine went back in time, did some crazy shit, and X2 and 3 basically never happened?
Yeah, that was Days of Future Past.
Yeah. That's in the most comical way possible, as I can imagine. That's what they did here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
again, in a joking sense,
right? But it's like, if Vanessa really is alive, then the entire movie's pointless.
No, Deadpool still lived the experience, just like Rick lives his experiences in Rick and Morty, So there's still the growth. There's that.
There's even a moment in one episode of Rick and Morty where they say something along the lines of, so did this all just happen for no reason, or what was the moral
of the story?
Yeah.
Mm. Nothing. We just got ice cream.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could be a thing, or who knows? Maybe none of that is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Canon. It wouldn't ruin my overall experience of the movie, but it would cause me to give a serious big ass eye roll.
Yeah.
Just to bring her back.
Yeah.
Like that,
Well, I mean, shit. If the technology was presented to me and that happened, I would totally go back and do the same.
I mean, now, I'm not questioning whether or not in reality we would. I'm talking about for the sake of the movie, is that the best, technique to do? Because now it's the emotional gut punch isn't there.
Well, let's see this. Mm-hmm. Let's just put this on the back burner for however many months and years we need to,
right?
Till Deadpool 3 comes out, and we see what the hell they actually are doing with that.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna hold this black cloud over the movie's head. Like if she's alive, then piss on that. Piss on you, movie. That was a pretty shitty thing to do, in my opinion.
Honestly, for a
movie to do it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because look at what Cable had to do to get his family back, and now look at what Deadpool does, and it's just kind of like
there's something to be said of that, definitely. But I will say this. For a movie that never takes its story too seriously, I'm not going to seriously worry about it, If it happens, it happens. If they give it to us, if they don't...
Right.
Either way.
At this point, like, the movie... If Vanessa is alive, then the movie's just taking its already barely there plot and then shitting on it for all of us to see.
Yeah, but honestly, how many people are gonna care at that point? Deadpool 3 is still gonna be enjoyed. They're still gonna make a shitload of money.
It's still gonna be really fun, is what you're saying?
Exactly, yeah. They're still gonna be stupid fun. But with a character that should be able to get away with that, not a God of Thunder.
How much leeway, how much rope would you give a character like Deadpool?
That's a good question, actually.
Because that's kind of where I draw the line. When you start bringing back characters... That's where I draw the line. I accept every other ridiculous act that he does, but bringing people back from the dead. Look at all the bullshit that the Avengers are gonna have to do to try to bring some people back.
I'm curious how they're gonna do that. Not to make this an Infinity War podcast, but that's definitely a big question on everyone's mind. Maybe one we'll have to talk about in depth later. But no, for the sake of this movie, man, I mean. I still really enjoyed everything they presented, I
didn't enjoy everything. I enjoyed most things
that
this movie presented. There's definitely some things that caused me to raise an eye or roll my eyes. There are a lot of eye problems here.
Yeah. A lot of eye-related issues.
Right, like the X-Force to the villains, plural. And those are really just the two big major things here. And then, for them to, if they did bring back Vanessa, to me that kind of negates what I said earlier about it being a super emotional gut punch and a really cool moment when they killed her off. A really bold statement.
Yeah.
So to bring it back is kind of like, they don't have the cojones to actually do that.
In my mind, honestly, and I'm thinking about how to carefully word this so I don't piss off anyone else here, so I don't sound like I'm just trying to fight you on this.
Right.
But Deadpool, to me, is always going to have that handicap.
Yeah.
He's never, ever going to fit the possibility of going from 1 to 10. He's ever only going to be able to go from 1 to 8 because I know his shit will never be quality. There's never going to be a Logan grade movie with Deadpool in my mind.
Well, there can't be a Logan tone movie, but if they want to, then they can have a Deadpool movie that presents real stakes, and that has real quandaries to worry about. Like they almost got there in this movie, with Deadpool finally finding something else to fight for.
I mean, at the beginning, I agree with you, but then as the movie went along, it was obvious they kind of threw that out the window. But no, what I'm saying is that, honestly, because he's at that handicap for me, let him have his playtime. Let him have his fun. Let him do whatever shit he does. I'm never going to take him seriously because he's got that handicap. Every other hero and plot and comic book movie that ever is presented to me, let me see what they do here. This needs to be quality.
Right.
For Deadpool, I never expect quality. And that's basically something this movie's taught me. And that's something I'm sure you and I are going to defer on.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
I mean, I enjoyed it too, but it's almost like saying that, if I read a Deadpool comic and it was just a bunch of cool shoot 'em up and then nothing mattered in the end, I would feel almost like what's the point of the story? Like, this literally went nowhere. But I mean, no. So if they can tell really cool and quality stories in the comics, then they can definitely do it in the movies.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
I guess the question then will become, well, will they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that for the next one, the stakes will be bigger. I think for the next one, they'll end up giving us a quality villain, and I think they'll do it because they'll have to. I think that for the first one, people were so enamored with just the story and the character that they didn't give it. They didn't care.
Right. No one gave a damn.
Right. I think for this one, that just like Ragnarok, for the first couple of weeks, people were going to sing nothing but his praises. Mm-hmm. But then after a couple of weeks or months, people are going to start talking about the lack of maybe structural plot and or villain.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, totally, I agree with you there. Yeah. I'm hoping that they do actually come out with a great villain for the third one, and that they actually give us something, content, rather than kicks and giggles and laughs, Yeah. That'd be great.
It would be.
Yeah. We'll see.
Right.
I mean,
because honestly, I give the first Deadpool movie the same score, an 8. That's what I give this movie. Was an 8, and it's just because they did things bigger, but they didn't really step outside that comfort zone.
The comfort zone here, just to clarify, being giving us actual quality story and a good villain and something to cling on to, rather than here's Deadpool saying a dick joke. You know? Right. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah, I think there's room for Deadpool to say his dick jokes and to have a cool story.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, if anyone can get away with it, the creative minds behind this movie can.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So they have the capability.
Right.
The question is, will you present it to us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of things you can do now. They can do Mr. Sinister. They can do Strife. They can do Taskmaster. I don't know if they have the rights to him or not, but if so, that'd be really cool.
That would be stupid cool.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot that this movie could do, or that the franchise can do.
Yeah.
I mean, so don't get me wrong, guys. I still really enjoyed the movie. It was definitely a fun movie. But as you guys heard, I do have some gripes with it. So, you got any closing comments on this one?
No, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm comfy.
Yeah. Excellent. Me too. Guys. So definitely. I was gonna say go see Deadpool 2, but if you're listening to this portion, then I hope that you have already seen the movie.
Yeah. At this point, it should be no surprise how we do things here.
Right.
The seatbelts. We told you they're getting unbuckled at this point, but hey. You're a grown person.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they were, going in to see Deadpool.
There's a lot of teenagers that love Deadpool, man.
Yeah.
Tis
true. Tis true.
But yeah, guys, definitely let us know your thoughts on the movie. Let us know what you loved about it. If there's anything you didn't love about it, for sure, hit us up. You know where to hit us up at. And that is superherohomies@gmail.com. If you have any other kind of questions, comments, gifts, threats, food, supplies, or extra lives like Vanessa. But yeah, guys, also feel free to check out our Patreon.
Potentially. Damn it.
Feel free to check out our Patreon page for more cool and awesome as bonus content.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And also, guys, I know some of you may have been wondering where the hell is the second part of the top 20 superhero movie moments of all time. That is coming up this Sunday. We promise. We did not forget.
Page? Of course we didn't forget.
Yeah, we did not just forget, guys. It is coming. Yeah. It'll be here this Sunday. And next Wednesday, we'll be covering The House of M, the cool ass Marvel series story event. I was going to say X-Men, but it's everybody.
It's everybody. It's the whole
It's just
team.
The X-Men get definitely the short end of the stick.
As will be discussed soon. But guys, that's going to be it for us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Talk to you next time.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. See you guys next time. As always, I'm Quentin.
I'm Kevin.
Peace.